Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations with Marvelous. And before I introduce my co-host, I want to thank everybody who tuned in, everybody on the live chat, everybody who decided not to be on the live chat, everybody who liked, comment, subscribed, disliked, unsubscribed. It doesn't matter. You guys still watch. We're going to have a great episode. You guys see on the caption there of everything we're going to be talking about. I'm going to start doing that a lot more so you guys can have some kind of an idea of where we're going. So when you do call, you guys can actually ask some of the questions, on some of the topics that we have below. I did select a few topics today because these are some of the questions that were asked to me recently. Then eventually we'll get to the questions in the community. If you guys want to ask a question, whenever I have Marvelous here, I always post them up post up the flyer on my Instagram at Tony A. The Wiz, on my story, on my Facebook, which is Tony Alvarez, and then on the community on YouTube for all the subscribers to see. On there is where I ask everybody, if you guys want to ask Marvelous a question or me a question or whatever, then you guys can comment on there. I'll get to those when we're finished with our topics. So if you want to ask a question right now, go there or just try calling in later. So without further ado, just want to jump right into this one because this is going to be a really, really good one. Like I said, you guys be the judge. Other than that, once again, Marvelous, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. How was your day?
Good. You know what? I mean, my days are always good, bro. Today I took my grandbaby to the park. They always like me to swing them, but I be getting tired. After that, we go to McDonald's, even though all they do is want to play. They want a Happy Meal, but all they want is a toy. They never even eat the food.
That's how I was growing up.
So we do that like that. I probably take them to the park 3 times a week. I just spend a lot of time there. Banning Park here. It means a lot to me because I've been coming here since I've been like 1 year old. And so to be able to bring my grandbabies there now means a lot. Oh. But I know yesterday you went to the Long Beach Convention Center, Lowrider Car Show.
Yeah.
Okay. How was that?
It was beautiful, man. To
Really?
See, a lot. And it was pretty packed. It seemed like it was kind of smaller than all the other ones that I've been to, though. I don't know if it's just the convention center that's small or smaller than the LA Convention Center, maybe.
Yeah.
But there's beautiful cars, man. A lot of people, a lot of love was shown. A lot of people asked for you. What else, man? It was a beautiful event.
And as close as it's like literally like 10 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and I just didn't really feel like going because here's what I don't like: finding parking and then walking in. I just want to. Like not too long ago, last year, I was in Arizona. We did the Arizona Super Show. Me and Hi-C performed there. And it was just all love. We pulled up. We went to the back, got up on stage, rocked it, and then left. I really don't like to walk around anymore. Yeah. The last time I think I walked around at a car show was when it was here at the LA Coliseum.
Oh, okay.
But that was like, I want to say 1990. One of my friends won first place. And the reason why he won first place, he was walking around with a big-ass knot the size of my fist on his forehead. And, there was a bunch of wheel medals that went there all deep.
Okay.
Well, there was another hood over there, which I'm not going to name. And this guy didn't want to fight my friend. So he picked up a trophy, the first place trophy, and gave him, bam, over the head.
Oh, shit.
And that's why he says I got first place.
Okay. Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, as far as like a couple of times that I've been, there hasn't been like no friction with anybody. And there's a lot of barrios. Like I've seen enemies that are from different neighborhoods. I'm like, damn, man, if they bump into each other. But it's a family event, a lot of people. Yeah. I took my kids. So it was pretty good.
That's a good thing. Yeah. What are they charging now at the door? I don't even know what they're charging.
That shit was like $50, man.
Per person?
Yeah. That's just ridiculous,
Wow.
It's getting even more. There was another car show though. There was one I had got the address late, but there was another one there, and then I heard that the cops had stopped it, or they stopped that event, so they had to go to Whittier Boulevard or somewhere. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. You know what? I wanted to ask you something that was asked me earlier this week. I want to say it was probably I had a conversation with a friend of mine on Thursday, and this guy he's not from a barrio, like he's not associated at all. But he was watching, I guess, an interview or somebody speak, and this guy said, I am the way I am because I have been institutionalized. So he calls me and he asks me, what does that mean when somebody says, I've been institutionalized? And he says, the guy was saying, I've been in and out of prison, man. That's just the way I am. I am institutionalized. So I gave him my best answer that I can give him. But I kind of wanted you to elaborate and kind of like let us know when What does somebody mean when they say that?
Institutionalized would be a form of habit, from being somewhere for so long. Like, I mean, when you're busted or whatever, of course you're restricted from movement
Right.
and stuff like that. But I mean, over a long period of time like that, that's when you become that the habit is just, it becomes part of you, bro. Like,
Yeah.
even if you were to get out and you know, you have your room, you're used to having, like, it's like OCD. Like, you know, you're used to having things clean or conducting yourself a certain way, and that's an institutionalized mindset, you know. So
Yeah.
it's a mindset, bro. It's a way of living that you become accustomed to. People that go in for like short terms or whatever, you know, they come out and say, oh yeah, I'm a convict or I'm institutionalized. So there was a younger gentleman that was you know, all over YouTube a couple of years ago, and he faded away. And I remember him, he's never been busted like that. And he came out saying in his raps that, oh, I'm institutionalized. Like, fool, you never even been busted like that, homie.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? But I mean, people like to throw these terms around and they don't
Right.
even know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah. So, like I said, I gave him my best example of what institutionalized was, you know, because I've known people that have did a lot of time, like 30 years, and then some people did 10 years.
Yeah.
The people that did 30 years, I noticed that they don't really want to talk about it. They want to go on with their life.
Right.
Then there's
Right.
people that did maybe 5 to 10 years,
Yep.
and they act like they did 30.
Exactly.
You know, so I don't understand that mentality, you know, but today it's almost trending to be institutionalized.
Or to say it.
That's what I mean, or to say it.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to a guy not too long ago, and I guess he got out of jail like 11 years ago. He did 5 years. And he goes like, yo, bro, you know, motherfuckers don't know who they're fucking with. I'm level 4, homie. And that's what he said. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So now it's not even a thing just to go to prison. It's like, what level? This fool's a level 1.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, but it was prison.
Yeah.
You know, so I had to explain that to him, you know. But there's a reason why I'm asking this question. There was a guy recently, he was on, I believe in February it came out. He was on Joe Rogan's popular podcast, and he was claiming that, saying he was institutionalized. He did 25 years for attempted murder, used to belong in a gang. And I quote him, he said, prison will either make you better or make you worse. He said, make you better because you're going to strive to do better, educate yourself, come out, be rehabilitated and be someone else.
Right.
Or you could just digress and fall back into the worst that you can be, because you're allowing your surroundings to make you that way.
Right.
So he said, I'm not going to live the rest of my life this way. So when I get out, I'm going to do better. So this person's name is Sheldon Johnson. He's 48 years old. So he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and last month, a couple of days ago, they arrested him. And well, you know what? Let's show his picture up there, Alex. Can we put up his picture? Sheldon Johnson. This is the guy that was on the Joe Rogan podcast. You guys could look it up. That's him, Sheldon Johnson. Okay. And he was there, and he was talking like pretty highly of himself. The guy sounded pretty educated, but it was also very street. And he went to jail for attempted murder, did 25 years on for robbery / attempted murder. And he was actually became like an activist to help younger kids, the younger generation, to do better and not to follow in his footsteps. So let's go ahead and put up picture number 2. And this is a picture of him. There he is right there. He's doing, you know, he's surrounded with people there because he's doing better. He's helping the next generation.
Right.
But now, a couple of days ago, and I don't know if you heard, it's been all over the news, his neighbor in these apartments heard gunshots. So they called the cops. When they go to his house or his apartment, they open the door, and guess what? They find a torso, they find body parts, they find feet all in the freezer, bro. Yeah. They arrested him. They walked him out, and he's yelling out, I didn't do it, I didn't do it, I didn't do it. Somebody heard the gunshots, obviously, okay? Right. And he had the head, the torso, the feet, everything in his house, bro. So my thing is this. Is it possible that a person can do that much time, be institutionalized, get out, do good and then relapse?
I believe that to be true, bro. And only because of through my lifetime, I mean, in my neighborhood, my dad was in and out of prison, my uncle was in and out of prison, all my homies in and out of prison. And, you know, some of them did 20 years, some of them did 38 years, you know, and I didn't see some of them change until they found something to live for. Like, you know, some people get a hyena or a girlfriend and you know, they want to do better because of her. Or some people, you know, gain back their relationship with their kids that were lost, and then they're living it for them. They want to make a change, you know. But if you don't find something to strive for, and you're just idle, you're sitting there idle, and you're just doing everything your parole officer or probation officer is asking you to do, you essentially have nothing going for yourself, or no goal, no good mindset, bro. So an idle mind, you know, is a playground for the enemy, you know, spiritually.
That is so true. So true. You know, I think sometimes, like what you said, an idle mind. I believe if you're in prison, and I've never been to prison, and I've never lied and said I went to prison.
Right.
But I believe at least one thing that he said after watching the interview: it'll make you better, or it'll make you worse.
Right.
And if you're just there and your mind is idle and you're just wasting time, it does become a playground for the enemy to drive you crazy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I want to go next, okay?
See, one thing, my bad, Tony.
No, go for it.
One thing, you know, people don't understand there's a difference between getting busted, being an inmate, and being a convict. An inmate, you know, you're there doing your time and you're just, you know, whether you're young or whatever, you're in your alpha state of mind where you have all this, you know, testosterone going and you're trying to prove to the next man how down you are.
Yeah.
And then when you spend so many years in being busted, there's a term called the convict, where you actually become a convict and you become a product of that environment that you're in, and you literally know how to con your way out of anything. You know, you become a convict, and you learn like the real art of war. You know, the art of war, the Sun Tzu, how to manipulate people. You know, how to have the gift of gab, how to weasel your way in to getting things that you want, because everything is restricted from you. So you have no other way but to learn to deceive another person by getting a cell phone or getting dope, or, you know, manipulating a hyena to send you money or whatever. You know, you got all that time to plan somebody's demise. You know, that's where you really become a convict. And then you come out with all these habits, you know, and if you don't have no goals set for yourself, or no boundaries, or no etiquette, or real moral mindset, and your mind is just on the gang and striving for that gang, and in the moment, you're not gonna get anywhere, homie. You're gonna keep on going back to that dead end and not going anywhere.
Shit. If you guys hear all these fireworks, we're not even close to July, and these tweakers are already lighting them. So no, I agree, bro. I agree with everything you said. I mean, I remember when I went to county 1994, I was just there 7 days, Marvelous, and I got out. I didn't fucking want to be there, bro. You know, and I've had homies, and I'm sure you've had homies that have said, like, "Oh man, I can't wait to get back in. You eat good, we work out, you come back out in shape."
Yeah,
I never understood that mentality. Maybe that is institutionalized. I don't know. But I brought up the whole institutionalized because of this person, Sheldon Johnson, that did 25. Became an activist, helped the youth, and then they find him with this.
Yeah.
You know. So now, went to go visit a buddy of mine, and this guy, I've been knowing for many, many years. He's almost 70 years old. Very, very well-educated guy. He has a degree in psychology, and he also has friends that are psychologists that worked in prisons and in emergency wards. The difference between an emergency room and an emergency ward is that emergency room is where you drive yourself. You're feeling sick. I don't feel good. I got to go to the emergency room. Okay. Emergency ward is when they actually come to get you. Then they take you into ICU and do whatever they got to do to you. Okay. This guy was telling me about a friend that he's retired now, and these are conversations between him and his friend. His friend is not a religious person, but he does have a PhD in psychology, and he worked in prisons, and he worked in emergency wards. And one thing that he said, he told my friend, I'm not a religious person. He said, but I will say this. He said, one thing that I've discovered that most people that have come out of prison, most people that are, or that go into emergency wards, he said, there's one common tie. He said, I believe that those two places, after 25 years of working at both of them, he said, I believe that prisons and emergency wards are havens, he said, for the demonic realm, for the spiritual realm there. And he said, because I've spoken to a lot of schizophrenics or schizophrenias. Spoken to a lot of them. He said, throughout the years. That's a good
word, schizophreniac.
Yeah, schizophreniac.
Yeah.
Schizomaniac, okay?
Yeah.
And he said, one common tie that they all have, one common tie, and this kind of goes along with what you said as far as the idle mind. He said, all of them hear voices, number one, but they're never encouraging voices. It's always bad words.
Right.
It's always bad. It's always negative. And my friend told me something that I've never heard. He said this. So my buddy that worked in the prisons and at the psycho wards said this. I come to the conclusion that I don't believe that schizophrenia is a disease or a mental illness. He said, I believe it's an entity. I believe it's demonic. He said, they all hear bad words, bad voices in their head. Have you ever had any friends that possibly came out of prison and maybe they just weren't the same anymore? Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, and I'm not sitting here saying that these guys are demonic. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you what a friend told me, what another friend related to him after working in prisons for 25 years, working in an emergency ward. He said, I've seen people go to an emergency ward, go in there, and as soon as they kind of get out, somebody's waiting for them outside. Hey, man, want to go get high? Hey, man, you want to go buy some? And they go right back to it.
Yeah.
He said, those two places have become a haven, he says, for evil spirits. He said, to play with their mind when like what you said, if you don't occupy yourself.
Right.
I don't know. Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I believe that, bro. I believe that definitely, you know. I mean, when you I believe in the whole biblical theory. Well, I mean, people call it theory, but I say it's fact. But the whole biblical term about, you know, all that stuff and opening those portals or those doorways, you know, to bad entities. And they have no other choice but to be in a room with another convict that is, you know, dealing with whatever he's dealing with, homie. And those demons with whatever's following you are going to play with each other. And a conversation is going to arise. And the next thing from that conversation, they're going to apply action to that conversation and either plan out a hit or plan out to get high together and then go do something dirty or whatever it entails them to do, bro. But yeah, I believe those places are definitely places that, you know, that bad energy is, bro.
No, it's true, man, because I knew a friend that would go to these hospitals and pray for people. And he would tell me, I felt that this was my calling to go to, if I could, into the emergency rooms, if I can sneak into an ICU and pray over these people, I would. He goes, and that's one thing that I've noticed. There's a lot of crazy people in there.
Yeah.
He says, a lot of crazy people. He goes, and a lot of them are not schizos. He goes, some of them just hear voices. Yeah. They're being attacked mentally right here. Right. And some men, you got strong-willed men and you got weak men.
Yeah.
And the weak ones are going to give out, bro. You know, many times we could be cruising down the street and we see people just talking to themselves. You know, I've always wondered as a kid, who are they talking to, or are they just drugged out?
They're talking to somebody in the spiritual realm, bro, that's really there.
I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you. So now, let me give you these definitions. I looked them up, and I kind of want to like touch on them a little bit. We are touching on them right now, but let me find this. You guys be patient with me since we're talking about these topics, and I don't want to get these things wrong. But okay, here it is right here. All right. Here we go. Okay, schizophrenia, since we were talking about that. Here's the Google's definition of schizophrenia. It's a serious mental illness that affects how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. People with schizophrenia may seem like they have lost touch with reality, which can be distressing for them and for their family and friends. Okay, that's what Google's, I guess, definition of schizophrenia. I knew a guy once that would always say that his mom was schizo, and he would always make fun of her. And I was like, why? Oh, she claims she's always hearing voices. So I said this. Maybe she is. Why is she schizo? Why is she crazy? Bro, there's been times that I've heard people call me. There's been times that I've heard, Tony, and I turn around and there's nobody there. Does that make me crazy? No, I heard it. I've woken up from dreams and then heard an audible voice call my granddaughter. They're there. Does that mean that, that I'm schizo? No. Maybe that is just the enemy trying to scare me or frighten me or whatever. But I don't ever allow stuff like that to ever to get to me. One thing about me, Marvelous, is that, I'm a very strong-willed person, bro. It takes a lot for a person to try to rattle me. Like, there's been people that have come against me and have took nothing but L's. Okay? So, and they know who they are because they're watching. Okay?
So, in this conversation, bro, I don't think that, of course, we're talking about schizophrenia.
Yeah.
But in a spiritual sense, bro, when you come into this world, as a young, pure child and stuff, there's certain things that they're able to see and we're not, because they're pure still. Their blood is pure. They haven't been affected by sin, I think we talked about it on Freaky Tales. And then the only other time that they get this discernment, I call it discernment,
yes,
where they're able to have that extra sense is when they're going to pass on. And I say that because elderly people usually get that before they pass away, and my grandma had that.
Yeah.
When I used to take care of my grandma, I had to lift her up, I had to feed her, a bunch of stuff. And I remember a couple of times when I would walk into the room, and she would go, "Hey, mijo, did you see the little girl? The little girl?" And I'm like, "What little girl, grandma?" I remember the first time she told me, and I was looking all over the house for their little girl, like, what little girl?
Yeah.
And she goes, "She's a beautiful little girl. She has did you see the dress that she's wearing? She has a beautiful," she goes, "Yeah, she always comes in my room in the morning, and she sits by me." And it was a little girl. She said that she's a beautiful little girl. And then she goes, "She just left." And she's like willing to argue with me over it. I'm like, "Grandma, what little girl?" But,
yeah,
now I comprehend, like, dang, she did see somebody. She did see something, and she passed on, a little bit after that. But, I believe that to be fact, bro.
And who are we to say that they're crazy, that they're schizo, and things are being revealed to them, But now, okay, most people would consider like a Jeffrey Dahmer, a psychopath. This guy can turn it off and on. He could be making out and slow dancing and drinking beer with his lover, and then after he has sex with them, he tears them to shreds.
Right.
This guy, that was on this podcast, this Sheldon Johnson, reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Because I saw the interview, and he was just so cool, calm, and collective, man.
Yeah.
I would have never have thought that.
Yeah.
And so let me give you guys what Google's definition of a psychopath. This is their dictionary. A person affected by chronic mental disorder with abnormal or violent social behavior. Okay? And that's why I asked earlier, do you think that a person can relapse and fall back into that? Like, would you consider this, if he's guilty, would you consider this guy a psychopath?
Well, I don't even think it's a form of relapsing.
Okay.
I just feel that he's not only manipulated everybody around him to believing that he is a sane person, but he manipulated himself and is in his denial about, what he is gonna do or what he plans to do. But I also do believe that, Scripture doesn't lie when it says that this curse is upon you, Like
yes.
he's here doing what he's doing because he's supposed to do that.
Yeah.
It's in his bloodline to do that.
Yeah. I like what you said when you said this person has been lying to others and lying to himself. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you who I believe is a psychopath, to be honest with you, O.J. Simpson.
Oh, look at the interview he did, bro. When if anybody wants to check it out, it's called oh my God, what's that word?
If I did it or something like that.
Yeah.
Where he talks hypothetically.
Hypothetically, yeah, the hypothetical confession of OJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, before he did that interview, I forgot the girl's name that went to go interview him, and they went to go to his hotel room, and when he opened the door with a big ass kitchen knife, and he goes, eat, eat.
I saw that. Who plays like that, bro?
Who does that? You know, and then the interview, he's laughing about it, you know, and it's a hypothetical answer that he's supposed to be giving, so it's a made up answer, you know, but during the whole interview, he's saying several times he makes a statement. Well, I can't remember. What do you mean remember? There's nothing to remember, homie. If it's a made-up story, then it's made up.
It would be like you asking me hypothetically, Tony, okay, say I'm OJ, right? I'm just trying to give people the example if they haven't seen it. And you say, Tony, hypothetically, how would you have killed your wife? First of all, if I'm an innocent man and I had nothing to do with that, you're not allowed to ask me that because that's the mother of my kids. That's how a man answers passionately because I love that woman at one point. But instead, he said, oh, you know, I went with a friend of mine and we walked through the back, you know, because the gate was kind of locked at the front. So then we walked through the side. Yeah. You know, she came out, we started arguing, you know, and all of a sudden one thing led to another and, you know, I did what I did, you know. Yeah. And that was my hypothetical start to my interview. Yeah. So what happens next? You know, and then Ronald or Goldman shows up and, you know, he tells me, I'm going to kick your ass. And I'm like, all right, you're not going to kick my ass. So we got into a stance and then, you know, there was a lot of blood. Yeah. You know, whose blood? Ronald's. Or, you know, I'm like, this is his hypothetical. Like, he goes, and I'm thinking to myself, who thinks to themselves in a hypothetical scenario? Yeah. I'm like, wow. I was trying to give you my best OJ voice. I don't know if that was pretty good. No. Okay. I tried. Okay. But yeah, so now, this guy, if he did it, man, this guy is a psychopath. Jeffrey Dahmer is a psychopath. Ted Bundy is a psychopath. And you know one thing about a lot of these guys, bro, that turn it off, turn it on, they all play the victims, bro. Yeah. You know, they all play the victims. And that is one sign of a true narcissist, okay? For some reason, a lot of people think that narcissist is like a dictator. It's a person that always has a sad story. You know, I was beat up when I was a kid. I was, you don't know my childhood. Like, there's people that are trying to make excuses for Richard Ramirez. He had a bad childhood, bro. So you're going to say he said, hell, Satan, and killed all those people because he didn't get his Happy Meal. You know, it's a perfect example of a narcissist. That one girl, was it in Vegas or I think Arizona? That girl that killed her dude. And she took pictures of him after. Jody. Oh, it sounds familiar. Yeah, I forgot her name. Somebody could put it in the comment. That girl, Jody Arias. That chick is off her rocker, homie. Bro, there's people walking around just like her right now. And they before they even interview her in the interview room, they had the camera on her and shit. And she's doing a handstand. That was her. Yeah, she's talking about she wants to do her makeup before, like, man. Yeah. But she was in a, let's be honest, handstand, trying to look good, trying to put on makeup, an attention whore. Exactly. But yet she was the victim, but yet she's the one that did the crime. Right. You know, and this guy, again, I don't know if he's guilty, but he's been arrested. My thing is this, if you're not guilty, what was that dismembered body doing in your apartment? Why did people hear gunshots? And you're this guy, this activist, you're for the next generation, for the youth. That should be nowhere near you. But, you know, to me, that would be a psychopath if he is found guilty, you know, because I've known people, Marvelous, that we talked about turning off and on that switch, that have did people dirty, and they tried to change their life around by sending people quotes, giving quotes, trying to encourage, trying to inspire. And people, to me, that's smoke and mirrors. People start believing it. Yep. And the reason why they do that is because they have so much fucking dirt that when somebody finally tells you the truth about them, you're not going to believe it because of everything he posts. Yeah. He's always encouraging us. Yeah. He gets in his car and he tells us, let's go get it, everybody. You know, let's make those power moves. It's all about you. God bless you and your family. Let's go get it. But it ripped off so many damn people. Did so many people wrong. Bro, that's all I see on social media these days, you know, and it sucks, you know. I see
man, it's sad, homie. And people right there in the comments, like in commenting about like, okay, there's this one chick. I know her. I know everything about this chick, how she conducts herself. And she has everybody in the comments believing that she's living this fantasy life. She goes on vacations, never takes her son with her, ever.
Wow.
Like, it's sad, you know. She goes all these, never wants to even kick it with her little boy.
Yeah.
You know, they don't even have a good relationship or nothing. It's sad, you know, like, and then like half naked pictures, and then one picture you'll see her she'll post up, and that's just one person, not bashing women or nothing, but I'm just giving you an example. Like, oh my God, you're such a good person. You're this and that. Oh my God, you're doing big things. Like, nah, like you have no idea. This chick is addicted to dope. This chick does not have a good relationship with her little boy. Doesn't take him nowhere. And, you know, she's on to the next relationship, on to the next relationship, on to the next, like, doing this, doing that. And everybody's right to take us out. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, that's sad, man. Like,
yeah, you know what? You call it discernment, and I call it that too, okay? I agree with that word, but for the people that don't know what discernment is, people say, I got a gut feeling about this guy, or I got a bad vibe. People will use the word from that guy. I know you Marvelous have that. In biblical terms, it's called discernment of spirits. I know by you meeting and look at somebody in the eye, you can tell what kind of person that is. You know, my mom used to say, es una persona buena o una persona mala. Either he's a good person or a bad person.
yeah,
And you can usually tell.
there's no in between.
There is no in between. I don't even want to call them women, but there's females out there like that, and then there's dudes out there like that I've known.
Yeah.
Okay? And I've lied to my face and did so many fucking people dirty. And I just don't understand how you can turn it off and turn it on. You know, but oh well.
Look at that one dude recently, bro. All in the all trying to be my friend and everything. Like, oh, I'm the downest, I'm the loyalist. Hey, you're never gonna have a fucking camarada like me, or bro, hey, carnal, this, and I got you this and that. And look at what this dude does, bro. Like, plays a whole, like, it's crazy. And I'm glad like everybody could seen it. You know, like, wow.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Now, I know we talked about this before, but I kind of want to touch a little bit on what my buddy, again, he's almost 70 years old, and he really kicked a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom. I sat there with him for maybe almost 4 hours, and I lost track of time. I got there like at 6. I left his crib like around 10:15. And let me tell you guys something. If you can learn something from someone, sit down and allow them to instill in you wisdom and knowledge. I don't know it all. I've studied, but I still don't know it all. And I know he can teach me, and I know he's lived many, many years and seen many, many things. But I do want to say something. One of my biggest regrets, Marvelous, is that the conversation that I had with him, I wish I could have had with my dad. My dad had 10 kids, brought the whole family here from Mexico. And I just wish I could have asked him like what I've asked this individual.
Wow.
This individual has so much wisdom and knew my father.
Yeah.
And he would tell me things about my father that I didn't know.
Yeah.
But when he was just breaking things down for me, like he said one thing, I thought this was very interesting. And I know I'm talking a lot. I want Marvelous to chime in, okay? So anytime.
Go for it, homie. I want to hear what you're going to say.
Okay, he told me, when I was a young man, he said, my parents used to take me to the Long Beach Pike. You know, it's not the Pike anymore. Today's been renovated. It's different. They used to have roller coasters, tattoo parlors, everything there. He said, I never, ever liked going to the Pike, never liked going to Long Beach. He said, and then I started studying when I got my first computer. When computers first came out, and I started looking up everything about Long Beach. And then I found out that the second biggest satanic following outside of San Francisco is in Long Beach.
Wow.
And then I was like, really? And he goes, yeah. He goes, and now there's actually more homosexuals in Long Beach than there are in Frisco.
Wow.
And I was blown away. And then you know what? It is a big homosexual community there. If that's the way they want to live, that's the way they want to live.
Oh,
but he said this. He said, let me tell you something. Shit doesn't fall up. Shit falls down, right? And I said, yeah. And he goes, shit doesn't defy the laws of gravity. It's not going to shoot up. He goes, unless you throw it at somebody. Yeah. Okay? He said, if you ever want to look at leadership, look at the city. That's a reflection of who is dropping the shit. That's them. And then I started to think about today's administration, Marvelous. Look at where we're at today.
Bunch of shit.
A bunch of shit is falling from up there.
Yeah.
From them.
Mm-hmm.
From this administration, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But when he told me about Long Beach, it just made a lot of sense, bro. It's just like, wow. He goes, so whoever's running it, that's a reflection of them. They're allowing that shit to fall. Mm-hmm. It's true.
Yeah. It's happening in every city, bro. Every city is getting turned up like that, you know, or turned down, however you want to say it, you know. Everything is gay. Everything is fucking identifying yourself as whatever the hell, you know. There's no longer just a man and a woman. You could do what you want, sleep with who you want to. You know, everybody's coming here for whatever reason. They're saying that they're coming here. The government's lying about everything. Everybody's still fucking focused on Democrat and Republican when there's a puppet that's holding both of the strings, the same person. Right. Nothing ever changes. People are still asking, can you sign this ballot so we could get that? It doesn't mean shit. Doesn't even matter. It sucks, bro. You know?
You know, and the thing is this, Marvelous, is that this administration goes in, they win this election. All of a sudden, people do not know the definition of a woman. I don't know what a woman is. It's a wide spectrum, and there's still studies being done. And, you know, it's the gender was given to me at the hospital. It's not who I am. And all of a sudden, confusion hits everyone. You can identify who. No, as a matter of fact, don't even call me a woman. Call me by my pronouns.
Right.
He, her, bang, zoom, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, now we live in a country where we have a constitution where we have freedom of speech. No, we don't. You know, we have freedom of religion. No, we don't. Because when I say what I feel or what I believe, it offends people. You know, but when they want to say something, they're heard. They're heard, you know, and if we don't respect them, then we're given names, homophobes, you know, or transphobes or whatever. And it's the men in dresses. It's not the other way around. It's the men.
And these people will argue with you to the death, bro, about how they think they're a woman.
Yes.
You know, a woman is specifically known as a woman. She's the only. How do I even put this? Her pelvic bone is the only, and a woman that can separate itself, bro. A man can't do that. And that's only through giving birth. Like, men can never do that. How could you ever even call yourself a woman?
Men do not have reproductive organs.
I mean, I know a lot of dudes and, you know, that act like females, but doesn't make you a fucking woman. Like,
and you know, and the thing is this, bro, because every time this subject came up, a lot of people think that we're hating on this community. It's not, bro. It's not. It's not hate. See, we can't even have a conversation without somebody thinking that it's hate.
Yeah.
You know, so anyways, but like, for an example, I just want to touch on some Bohemian Grove. Okay. Ryan Garcia, the boxer, I don't know what the fuck is going on with him right now. I really don't. He's got a big fight coming up, and I don't know if this is just smoke and mirrors and he's just trolling people. I don't know. But he claims that he went to Bohemian Grove and that he saw people taking babies, and I'm not going to use the word, but, you know, and he was there with the elitist or whatnot. Okay. You're an idiot if you don't believe that Bohemian Grove does not exist. It does exist.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And let me tell you something. The majority of the people that go there is men. So I want to ask you something, because I know you touched on it a long time ago. Why are the men's masculinity being attacked? For an example, Bohemian Grove, they say that there's meetings out there of all men, the elitists go out there, the presidents go up there, and then all of a sudden it's a big-ass orgy between men. Why not men and women? What is it so sacred about that it just has to be men?
Man, you know what? I can't give a specific answer on that part, but I mean, I could tell you all that shit that he said is bullshit. You know, about them holding babies down or holding him down and making him watch all that. That's a lie, because that's not how they do it, bro.
Right.
You know, that's a private thing that they do when they make their sacrifice to their bullshit ass God. that they're doing their sacrificing to, you know. And also, I always told people, I said it here a couple of times, bro, watch out for the symbolism when these people are talking. There's several videos where you see him throwing the symbolism, bro. You know, the same thing when they're talking. They look like they're relaxed, bro. They're just like this, you know, and they're throwing up their symbolism.
Yeah.
You know, they do that.
Now, one time you again, maybe let me rephrase this. Why does it seem amongst that community that it is more of a ritual to take another man, for a man to take another man than for a man to take a woman? Is a man's behind sacred that means something?
Well, the way they do it, it's your nerve endings right there, the bottom of your chakra. So when they do that, they believe that they are taking, dominating your spirit. You know, and taking you. I don't know how to word it right, but they own you after that. Like they've taken your spirit with them. You know, it's like collecting their shit.
And it's funny because we hear a lot of stories. A lot of stories have been coming out of a lot of men that have gave it up.
Oh yeah,
but more stories of men than there are women. That's what's getting me.
Look all the dude with Diddy, all that shit with Diddy, all these dudes that you know he had. I believe it.
This is a true story, and the person who told me this is known nationwide. The person who told me this, very, very important person in this hip hop industry. This person was running a label, and brought in a female from New York to work in the office. Okay, do like clerical work, stuff like that for this record label. One day they were having lunch, and this girl that came from New York broke it down to this person what she had enough of. Okay, and you know who she was working for? Diddy. She walked into his office by accident, and there was a very well-known, famous rapper that she saw, and I'll tell you afterwards who it is, that was sucking his cock. And he just said, close the door. And then after, that's where he signed and blew up. He was on Diddy's label.
Yeah. Dirty.
Yeah, you know, and here's my thing. And then I started hearing more and more stories from people in high places that would say, that motherfucker right there. That motherfucker right there.
You don't make it to the top without doing an act, doing something.
You don't.
There ain't no pass, bro, that, you know, people can say, oh, you know, well, he doesn't do that. He's a prestigious guy or whatever, you know. He's a gentleman. Like, he would never. No. You can't get to that level, bro.
You can't. You can't. And you know what? That's why
These are my bad, bro. These are initiations that they do when they join the Masons, and most of them are Masons. You go through your degree, and every degree that you go through, it's a sacrifice. And if you don't do this, you could get put up for a sacrificial offering by another member if you're not completing your task at hand.
Right.
You know, they got offered up. Like, sorry to say, Kobe. That shit was already pre-planned. You know, at his last game, the last game that he had, they gave away. What did they give away to the people? You can look it up. They gave a little helicopter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You know, that little toy. They had it in cartoons of his demise.
Yeah, that I saw. That I did see. But it's just crazy when you think about it because it sounds so wild. That's why whenever you share certain things, people think you're crazy.
Yeah, bro. I mean, look at that way. Of course, the way I look, they're not going to believe me. You know what I mean? But study the Book of the Dead. You read a book on masonry. You see what they sacrifice to. You know, they tell you. And not because I'm just repeating what they tell you, what they're showing you. Like, I'm the bad guy? Hell nah.
But I did like what you say because I do think it means a lot to a lot of these elitists that whenever they do take you from behind, they feel they own you. You know? And the guy now is kind of like okay, he took it, but this is what I'm going to get, you know. I know artists. I believe that happened to him, and those guys that got their booty, they didn't fulfill. And let me tell you something. A lot of rappers are coming out and talking and are mad at the game. And they're calling them, those are the mad rappers. I wonder why. And they're talented, but they never got to that level. Okay? And they never got to that level because it was taken from them by some of these guys that said, do this, and I'll open the door. And they never opened the door. They just lied to them and took their booty. I know a couple of guys that I know for sure that's what happened to them, bro. They gave it up and got shit, and they're talented. But, you know, That's what they want to get to.
Look at Will Smith's first movie, bro.
Yes. Yeah. Or you know who, to me, I don't support none of his movies. He'll throw on a dress and a fucking wig, The Rock.
Yeah. That fool. He did a little skit like if it was funny about creating a robot that molested children. Who does that shit?
Who does that shit?
That fucking fool, another pedophile, the Aquaman fool.
Yeah, so when he was grabbing that kid, you know, yeah. And let's look at TD Jakes, bro. All those rumors, all of a sudden, it's hushed because he was threatened to sue. Okay, he's got money. He's got church money.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're supposed to be, now let me nail this down. He's supposed to be a holy man. Holy means separate from the world.
Right.
Separate from the world. He's supposed to be disliked and hated by the world because he preaches the truth. And yet he was at those parties, bro. If you were at those parties, I believe he was a power bottom.
Yeah. And if you know that much about scripture, you know that you're not supposed to be in a dwelling amongst a bunch of demonic shit.
Yeah.
So why would you even put yourself right there?
He knew what was there, bro.
Yeah.
He knew. But now, anyways, Alex, anything you want to touch on? Because I know I told you to chime in anytime.
Well, you had asked me about the institutionalized.
Yes.
And I think it is true that certain people do get institutionalized, but I would say that there's like different levels of it, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, but some people do get through it. But being out here and because see the difference from what I know, my experience is that in jail there's a lot of respect.
Yeah.
And out here there's like not that much respect. So it's very hard to adjust when you get out to all the disrespect that you see happening all around. Everything is disrespectful out here when you come out. Yep. So you have to get accustomed to those, you know, the way people talk and shit, you know?
Yeah. This is a Cambridge Dictionary translation of institutionalized. It says, if someone becomes institutionalized, they gradually become less able to think and act independently because of having lived for a long time under the rules of an institution. That they pretty much nailed it. Okay. Now, here's my thing, because I've had family members and close friends that were institutionalized. And when they came out, they started telling me words not to say or to call them by. And I'm like, hold on, pal. I love you and I respect you. But if you're going to be living in my house or coming around me, you're not going to tell me to live by those rules in there. You're not going to tell me that, bro. You know, like one time, I guess, I forgot who it was. I had another friend that came over, and him and another guy were he was on the phone talking to another guy, and he called the guy a bitch. All right, bitch, see you later. Okay, guys play around and they say that we're to men. I don't believe you should say that to another man, but the guy that I was with blew up. Don't you ever fucking call another man a fucking bitch. You know what would happen to you if you were in a fucking pen? Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, man. I love my buddy, but it's different out here, man. It's different. We're not in the pen. And he kept trying to tell people for everything. Here's what he would say. You don't eat all your food? That shit wouldn't go in the fucking pen. Yeah. Bro, and after a while, I don't even want to be around this guy, bro. You know, I get it. I understand that, you know. But I don't want to ever be disrespectful until the guy turn it down a notch, bro. Yeah. You know, because most likely probably is disrespectful, but you also have to respect us. Yeah. That have never lived by, you know, those rules or whatnot. So anyways. All right, let's go to, you ready for some questions, Marvelous?
Simone.
Okay. You see this? Okay, you guys. Now let me ask you this. Anything else you care to talk on this or bring up? As far as we talked about, institutionalized prisons, emergency wards, psychopaths, schizophrenia, and the demonic realm, demons. Anything, Alex, you want to touch on?
You know,
go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? When I was in I was in Narco and CRC when it was good.
When you were on Narcos.
And I ended up there for a while because I was supposed to go to fire camp. But I went there, and what ended up happening is they put you with all the pill poppers, right? And you would see that some people, they did need it, but some people, they didn't need it. And they just acted crazy so that they could just push themselves through. Like you said, a convict, basic convict, they know the rules, they know what can apply to them and what can't apply to them in front of the cops. And cops, they make it so impossible for the cops. The cops don't even want to fuck with them because they'll just, there's nothing they could do about certain people. No matter how many times they get caught, no matter, all they could do is raise their points and send them to another level. So, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about all these youngsters now using all these fucking prison terms and making all these videos of prison shit, prison spreads, prison fucking burpees, and all this shit?
How do you feel, Alex?
What do you think?
Knowing that you went to prison?
You know what? Honestly, I would never talk about. I mean, I'm talking about this right now, but I don't talk about anything from prison on YouTube or anything like that. Just because of the fact that maybe somebody might.
There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, there's nothing to really mention about it now because I mean it's already been a very long time.
But I'm saying like seeing all these people that never been in that life. I'm saying like a youngster and they're conducting themselves like if they've been somewhere.
You know what? It doesn't bother me, but I know that certain people will if you're representing the hood or whatever, you're gonna get questioned when you actually land in jail. So
yeah.
And if people seen you, talking reckless or saying certain shit, you're going to have to answer to somebody someday.
There's a lot of, and I'm not going to mention no name, but there's a lot of podcasters today that are getting views by talking about that.
Oh, heck yeah.
And they don't realize it, Marvelous, that they're really putting themselves in a dangerous place.
Yeah, and getting people killed.
Yes.
There's 2 people that got whacked. Talking about shit.
I was taking calls. And I had a guy that called live, and he says, I don't know if this is true, if he really called from there, but he said, and Alex, I believe you were here. He said, this is so-and-so, and he believes he said his barrio, and then he says, level this, and I want to tell all of these fools that are talking all this politics stuff, he said that, they got something coming, and then he hung up. Okay, now whether that was true or not, there are real people out there that don't want those things talked about. And my thing is, why can't you just respect that? Why are you using your channel to make views off of somebody's life that lived that life?
Because they want that validation. They want people to think of them as I guess they feel like it's being a man. Like, oh, you've been somewhere. Oh, well, he must know. Or he's dangerous, or he probably knows people, or he's probably been through a gang of shit.
There's a podcaster that I don't understand how nobody has talked to this guy. He takes any cholo story and he just brings it. This so-and-so member went to this so-and-so member, and he's giving names and giving barrios, and he's giving, and he's just saying, I'm just throwing it out there because it's out there. I'm just covering it so you guys can watch it, and then he throws up their pictures and everything. And I'm like, bro,
damn,
you don't realize what you are doing. And he's getting a lot of views.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how you can do that, bro. I don't know.
Like you said, you made a statement earlier, bro, that, some people don't like to talk about it that have really been through that. And that's true, homie. Like people that really seen shit go down, like you don't want to talk about that. I don't want to remember about that shit. That's just fucked up. Some people ask you about tattoos or certain tattoos you might have and what they mean. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, what the fuck? That ain't for you. And it's not even something I want on me no more. Like, why do I want to share that experience? It was an ugly experience. Like, fuck that.
But I also do want to show love to the people that at one point were institutionalized, got out and changed their life for the better.
Oh, heck yeah.
Whether you're a woman or whether you're a man, maybe you're a man now, you have a wife, maybe you have children, you go to work, you change your life, you become a great role model, a great example, and you left that behind. And there's probably people around you that don't even know that you live that lifestyle. And that's a good thing, So, okay, let's go to the first question.
All right.
Have either of you ever had to run someone's fade for your children? Or maybe even threw down with your own kids? No. I've never threw down my own kids. No. But the first part is kind of, have either of you ever had to run someone's fade for your children? I'm assuming maybe you're at home and somebody comes and picks on your son and he's a grown man. Would you run that fade with him for your son?
I had something happen to one of my boys. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's what he's asking. So, Quick story. I went to school with this guy, and I was cruising by. This was the 90s. And this guy, I see him fighting in the middle of the street. It's one-on-one. He gets knocked out. The guy that I went to school with. His brother runs out, and I know both of them. So I pull over to the side, and his brother starts boxing that one guy. He gets knocked out too. Okay? The dad comes out, bro. And let me tell you something. It really saddened me because the dad was out of shape. But one thing about the dad, bro, that I admired, he knew how to throw fucking hands, bro. He came out like a boxer, bro. He stood up, and the guy charged him. Bobbing, as bad as he was, ping, ping, the guy starts stumbling. Ping, ping, he drops him. And he told the guy when he was on the fucking floor, don't you ever pick on my children.
Yeah.
Don't you ever. And he was like, they owe me fucking money. You could have came talk to me. And to me, bro, like that dad deserved a fucking round of applause, bro. Because I think the last thing that I would ever want to do is me getting picked on, and then I get knocked out and my dad gets knocked out.
Your whole bloodline got knocked out.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. It's you know what sucks though, when you see like some of these fighting videos or whatever. I mean, I remember my grandpa used to fucking try to show me how to box. You know, I mean, back in his days or whatever. But to see youngsters trying to fight today, it's crazy, man. You see them out there, and they're both running from each other, or they're like this, like, what the fuck are you doing, homie? Like, what are you doing? Or they'll be just going in like that, like, what are you, man? You're bound to get knocked out.
Or today's kids, when they fight, everything's this.
Yeah.
And whoever
swinging from the out, whoever connects, they just connect.
Yeah. Whoever lands first, then they say, I won.
Yeah.
You know, okay, cool, whatever. I get it. But I do want to say this to men, and I want to give my homeboy a big shout out. Well, I won't say his name. He's overweight, but he's been going to the gym with me every day.
Dope.
He's been going with me to the gym every day. And he's in his mid-40s. But I want to tell a lot of you dads out there, or a lot of you, you husbands, or even if you're single, if you have kids, anybody ever tries to mess with your kids, anybody ever tries to mess with your wife or whatever, be in good shape, man. Okay? Because that guy who's going to try to defile your wife or your kids, you know who he's going to take out first? You. Because after he takes you out, he's got everybody. So that's all I'm saying. Take care of yourself. I'm about to be 56 years old, bro.
Damn.
Okay? And let me tell you something. I'm not going to go out easy, bro.
That's good, homie.
So, all right. Let's go. Let's keep going. For Tony, can you get Egyptian Lover for an interview? It would be dope to hear you guys talk. I talked to Egyptian Lover for like pre-COVID, and that was supposed to happen. Never happened. And then I talked to him again, and then COVID opened up, and he went on tour. And he's still very, very active. And you know what? He still pops during the sets, bro.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he does the Egyptian shit, When I say Egyptian shit, the Egyptian, like, poses and shit.
Hey, it was funny, real quick. Shout out to Burst Rock.
He's been here?
Yeah, you've had him here. So he's from, is it Soul to Soul? And my cousin is a real good friend of his. They call him Warlock.
Okay.
They're from the same Pop Like a Crew or whatever. But I remember I've been to a couple of their barbecues, and one barbecue that I went to, I think it was my first time being around like all their homies, and they're right there talking like homies. You go in the group, you introduce yourself. Hey, what's up, homie? I'm so whatever. And I go into the group and I'm talking, introducing myself. What's up? And they're talking to each other. But while they were talking, whoever was talking, like, they're pop locking while they're talking, bro.
Oh,
they're
wow.
all going around and they're talking while they're popping, like, and that shit was like, oh man, it was the coolest thing I ever seen.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it was dope.
I knew a guy like that, but for everything, like every time he talked, he
Yeah.
was like, "Dude, did you know that they were doing?" And I'm like, "Cálmate."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all good. I mean, that's what. But you know what? I will try again. I will definitely try because I would love to have Egyptian Lover here. Egyptian Lover. The first time I ever heard of him, it was 1983. There was a documentary you can watch on YouTube. It's called Breaking and Entering. And he's on there with Chris the Glove Taylor. Chris the Glove Taylor is scratching, and Egypt is on the 808 drum machine. And they actually filmed a little part right here in the east side because Michael Chambers, Boogaloo Shrimp, or everybody knows him from Turbo, from Breaking.
Boogaloo Shrimp.
Yeah, grew up right here, okay? And so they filmed the east side right here back in 1983. And then they filmed Pub and Taco, rest in peace to him, out of Long Beach. So Like it was just a whole LA documentary.
Uh-huh.
And that's where I first heard of Egyptian Lover. So, okay, this one right here. My question is, if someone commits murder, should they ever be let out of prison? Okay. I ask because a man who did 25 years for attempted murder was on Joe Rogan's podcast to advocate for prison reform just a month ago. And now a couple of days ago, he was arrested for a murder on video. Should people who commit murder be given a second chance or no? What about attempted murder? Now, I do want to say something because there is video and there are pictures of him leaving his apartment with body parts.
Yeah.
So he can't say he didn't know, you know. So, but I do believe in second chances, Marvelous.
Yeah.
I do believe because there are some people that have genuinely changed. And it's sad that many of them don't get second chances because of what they did 30 years ago. And they were 16 years old. They were 17. They were 18. And maybe it was peer pressure. Maybe it was popular to be in the hood and to be talked about. So I went ahead and did this hale, you know?
Right.
I get busted now. Nobody comes to visit me. There's no Thanksgiving. There's no 4th of July. There's no family gathering. There's no more Christmas. You spent 30 years in jail. Nobody cares anymore. All your friends have grown up, gotten married, have kids and grandparents, and you just want one more chance to try to have what they have.
Yeah.
I just want to get an apartment. I want to meet somebody. I want a kid. You know, I went in fucking jail a virgin. You know, I just want a second chance.
Yep.
And those people, there are people out there that are truly rehabilitated. But some do, some don't. I don't know.
I believe in the same thing, but I do believe like in certain how do you call it? Certain things for certain people, like, you know, child molesters. They should all have that shit cut off and sent to an island somewhere where they could all be with each other. You know, nowhere near society, us regular people, you know. But yeah, I believe that, you know, I mean, there's people, you know, they're put in a certain circumstance and, you know, whatever reason they took that other person's life, hey, you know, the stories vary. You know, they're different scenarios, so you can't place a judgment on everybody as a whole. Like,
Yeah. There is different scenarios, and that's why they need to be evaluated before the release.
Yep.
So, okay. What do you think about the Zoot Suit riots? Good documentary on PBS. My uncle, we used to call him Chato, so that's, I believe his name was Raimundo, okay? He was a part of that whole Zoot Suit movement. And again, when I was sharing with you earlier, Marvelous, I wish I would have had taken the time to not only ask my dad a lot of these questions, because everybody tells me he was a very smart, educated man, but to me, he was just a pa, you know? And my uncle, Chato is what we used to call him, I think he would have been great for me to ask him about the whole Zoot Suit movement. Now, I know that they were looked at as pachucos, and I know that they were beat up, and I know they were chased down, and I know they were ridiculed and laughed at, and, you know, but I wish I could have talked to an actual Zoot Suiter like my uncle and get a little bit more info. Like, you were walking the streets of LA. Tell me.
Heck yeah.
The other thing that I know is what people put on TV. I don't know anything.
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't heard anybody that has seen it speak about it, but I mean, I'm sure it might be pretty good. But yeah, I think to get the authentic story from somebody that was there, heck yeah, man. They probably have so much to say.
Yeah, I will say this. The movie Zoot Suit, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought Edward James Olmos was...
Oh, was you talking about the movie or
No,
talking about
it's a documentary. He's talking documentary.
Yeah.
But the movie Zoot Suit, I remember because I was young working with Steve Yano, and we used to sell the Zoot Suit album. And the music is classic. And a lot of people don't know that a lot of that singing that was done on that album was done by Edward James Olmos. A lot of people don't know that he sang. The guy was amazing, bro.
Edward James almost sang?
Listen to the album Zoot Suit, and it'll say his name. Yeah, bro.
Wow.
And of course, in the movie, he sings it. People can say he was lip syncing or whatever, but no, that was his voice.
All right.
It's very, very good. You would never think that it was him.
Did you see the movie on the Jamaican dude? Bob Marley.
Bob Marley. I didn't want to see it. And I'll be honest. I love Bob Marley's music. I just didn't think the guy looked like him. So I didn't see it. Did you?
No, I didn't see it. I heard everybody said it was good. A couple of people said that it wasn't good, but
My son said it wasn't good.
yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I like Bob Marley. I just didn't think the guy looked like him. It's kind of like watching the Ali movie played by Will Smith. I'm like, bro, you're Will Smith.
I can't take him serious. Homie.
I can't take you serious.
Nah,
You know?
can't.
So, anyways, okay. Question for Marvelous. I saw your soft white underbelly interview with Mark Leda.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was great interview. Thank you for sharing with us about your life experience. But 35 minutes seemed too short, though there's been others there much shorter and others longer.
I appreciate that.
Would you do a follow-up part 2?
I would. That video or that interview was actually longer, but he edited it.
Sure.
A lot of other ones that I've done, they were edited. So a lot of the stuff that we did talk about, we talked about addiction. That was a big, a long time we spoke about that. He didn't put that in there for whatever reason. I mean, it's his channel or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was really important. But I mean, people post up views or content to entice certain viewers that they want. You know, he titled that interview "Gang Member." You know what I mean, or whatever he wanted to title it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I didn't go into that interview, you know, wanting to talk about gang shit or none of my interviews. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just what people, you know, want to talk about or whatever.
Yeah. He also asked me, for you, Tony, will you also be interviewed too? I don't think I would be soft white underbelly type of material. But if he would ask me, my interview would probably be 10 minutes. You know, because I don't really have a story like that. You know, but yeah, I would if he asked me, but you know. Okay. Okay, this is a good one right here. Have you guys seen those videos of people who catch chomos and expose them?
Yeah.
I think the homies should start pages and do the same thing. What do you guys think?
I think definitely not.
Okay.
And I'm only saying that because me and my primo were gonna do that, and I don't think I would be able to contain myself. No matter how, I just don't think. I don't think. I mean, I would probably be in jail, bro. Like, you know.
Right. For people that don't know, just again, because we're just not talking to people here in LA, the people that live in different states. If you don't know what a chomo is, that's a fucking child molester. Okay. Out here, that's what we refer to them as chomos. Okay. Now, these pages are on Instagram and YouTube where guys go on these websites or on these apps. I think they're apps.
Yeah.
And these men that are married men pretend to be either a 13-year-old boy or a 14-year-old girl. And they start talking and chatting to grown men in their 30s, you know, 20s, 50s, 60s, or whatever. And then they all of a sudden, let's say somebody's playing a 14-year-old girl, says, would you meet me at Starbucks? Then the 65-year-old man will show up. When he shows up, I know what he looks like because he's already sent me nude pictures of himself.
Yeah.
Thinking I'm a 14-year-old girl. So now here comes these guys that walk in and pretty much like, hey, Scott, who are you here with? Who you want to talk to? And he's like, I'm meeting a friend. He goes, really?
Yeah.
Then he opened up the folder and showed him all his text
All his
messages.
shit, pictures and everything.
He said, we can talk or we can call the police.
Yeah.
Okay, no, we can talk. I have to agree with you, Marvelous, that I do not suggest that us raza do that. And I'm going to tell you why, because I know us. We will fuck them up, bro.
And then how you gonna ask a person just have a whole conversation with them like that? You already know his fucking. I came here to talk him out of it. Like, what the fuck you talking about, homie?
A lot of these guys lie. Well, no, I showed up because I wanted to meet her to talk her out of it that she shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. The majority of the time that I have seen, and I hope I'm wrong, the majority of the time that I've seen when they do call the cops just talk to them and then let them go. Like, there should be a law for you talking to a fucking minor, bro. But if he hasn't done the act, I guess that's why they kind of let him go. And these guys are sitting there thinking like, bro, this guy's a fucking chomo. This guy's a child molester. And you letting him go? I got the evidence. Well, he didn't do nothing.
What's fucked up is that most of these fools got kids at their pad, like at home. They got children, you know, like,
yeah,
damn,
dude.
homie.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they had to be doing some shit.
So
Look at the vato, my bad.
Yeah, no,
look at
go
the
for
dude that got busted. I think it was recently, because he had his daughter had a sleepover, and he made smoothies for them or something like that, and he put like some pills in their shit.
Wow.
And one of the girls, she tasted it and she acted like she was drinking it. She said it tasted like something was wrong with it, right? So she pretended to be asleep and shit. And I guess the dad at night or whatever was hovering over her, trying to check her face or something to see if she was really sleeping. And she's texting her friends or her parents, trying to say like, "Hey, come help me," and shit like that.
Wow.
Dirty.
You know.
Look at the movie. My bad. Over
No,
again.
no, keep
Look
going.
at the movie American Beauty.
I haven't seen
With
that
what's
one.
his name? Kevin Spacey.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that dude. Like that whole movie is about, you know, that shit.
And you know what? And he was charged, but he was acquitted. He was involved in that chomo shit too.
And that movie is about that, homie.
Wow.
Him trying to hook up with his daughter's friend that is spending the night.
And that's the thing. So I don't encourage our people to do that because, and this is my reason, Marvelous, we would take law into our own hands.
Mm-hmm.
And we shouldn't. We will end up in jail for, you know, but we'll leave it at that. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay. Why didn't he come to the lowrider meetup in the Calles? I guess talking about you. You
was at the Lowrider show.
He was at the lowrider show.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. Okay. Okay, question for Tony and Marvelous Inc. Did you guys ever own BMX bikes?
Yeah.
And what brand was a bike you always wanted? Go ahead.
I don't know. I got the bike that I wanted, a GT Freestyle. I had a GT Redline. I had a GT Dyno. I had a BMX. I had a Huffy. What else? That's it.
Okay. This is a sad story for me.
Oh,
okay?
man.
Because, again, when you come from 10 kids, your mom can't afford everything.
Uh,
So my youngest brother, they brought out two bikes and they told us to go to the room. They called him out first to let him get first choice. And he got the white one and I got the blue one. And his was a Huffy and mine was a Kent. And they were both bought from Kmart. I rode that bike. I loved that bike, bro. That bike was everything to me. And one day I went to the arcade.
Oh, man.
And I leave it outside. And coming out, bro, to me, it was equivalent to having a car. You come outside, your bike is fucking gone,
Yeah.
bro. They stole your fucking bike and your heart. I didn't know how to go home and tell my parents, bro.
Yeah.
You know. But the bike that I always wanted was a Mongoose.
Wow.
Never got it.
I had a GT Redline given to me by a professional bike rider. My aunt's husband's brother was a professional. His name was something Han. He was a Korean dude, but he was bad. And he gave me this GT Redline. And every day after school, I used to come home, and the house at the front of my pad was abandoned. Well, it wasn't abandoned. Nobody was living there. My grandpa had rented it out, so I used to put my bike in there and lock the door. And I came home one day to get my bike out, and I was all excited, ride my bike down the street and shit. And it's gone. And my dad has stole it. Dad has stole it and sold it for dope. Yeah, my grandpa just got on him like it was on.
Wow.
That was the most hurtful thing that I think had ever happened to me by my dad.
Wow. Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Was his name Sheikh Han?
Sheikh Han? No, I don't know.
Professional guy?
His name was Han, though. He was a professional. His brother, Stephen Han.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Tony and Marvelous, I have a question, brothers. What are some ways a man can encourage and cover his wife and children in prayer on a continual basis? How can a man honor the Most High in his own home and bless it according to the Bible? Thank you.
How could a man... Wait, read it one more time?
Okay, I'm going to read it one more time. I have a question, brothers. What are some ways a man can encourage and cover his wife and children in prayer? That's question number one. So how do you cover your wife and your children in prayer on a continual basis? Okay, second question. how can a man honor the Most High in his home and bless it according to the Bible? So let's take the first one. How can a man cover his wife and his children by prayer continuously? My answer would be short, in prayer, to pray for them.
Right.
You know, when my kids also were small, I'd lay hands on my kids,
Right.
and I pray for them.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to repeat the prayers because that's what came out of my heart, and I will pray for them. And the best thing, I know couples that husband and wife, they pray together. They hold hands and they pray together.
Right.
But in your own time of prayer, and I do believe that every man should have is, if you believe, his own time of prayer to cover your wife or to cover your girlfriend, to cover, your children, or even if those kids are not yours and they're hers and you love her, those are now your kids. Cover them with prayer, and God will take care of them. I truly believe that.
Yeah. I think the only way, and I just believe this to be the only answer, it covers all of it, is to live by scripture and obey the law, statutes, and commandments, because the only way that you could have a successful marriage or be a good leader is to lead by example.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't lead a woman and say, I'm the leader, obey what I'm doing, if you're not doing the right thing.
And you're 100% correct. You know what? Because a lot of people don't realize that the mantle that has been placed upon the man to be the protector and the provider and the priest of that home, you being that example, they will follow.
Right.
If you don't do that, believe it or not, that's where
Clash. All the time.
they clash, Marvelous. And some of these, I don't want to call them weak men, but for lack of better words, some of these men that don't take their position, some of these women are forced to take that position because these men are not taking the leadership role.
Right.
So they're like, bro, if you're not going to drive, I'm going to drive. You know, are you going to do it? Well, you can do it. And then now the home is out of order. Right. The man should be here. Here's the wife, meaning in leadership.
Right.
Now the roles are reversed.
Right.
And then you know what happens when the man doesn't take leadership? The woman starts losing respect for him.
Yeah. Well, that too, bro, there is a pecking order according to biblical scripture.
Yes.
You know, it goes the Most High, the Messiah, man, his wife, kids, pets, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But in society, the system has
Reversed it, yeah.
it has bumped the women up above men, and women are no longer submissive to men.
Right.
They're not submissive at all, bro. They try to do everything men can do. They wear the pants in the relationship. They make the decisions. And you got weak men following women. And yes, you're weak. You're weak. You have to make the decision in your home.
Yeah.
And there isn't like, oh, I'm compromising with my woman. It ain't about none of that. You are supposed to be the leader.
Yeah, your house is out of order.
Right.
You know, and many times men try to take that back, but the women are already accustomed to like, I do shit around here. I
don't need to do shit. Yeah. I don't need, or you're not, the worst thing, and I keep saying it, the worst thing is for anybody to say is, oh, I need a real man. When women say that, I need a real man. No women will ever fucking know what a real man is. Ever. They can never make that statement. They're not a man. They can't raise a young boy to be a man. Yeah. And I can't tell you what it is to be a real woman and say, oh, I need a real woman, because I don't know what that is. I have my opinion of what I want in my life, but I can't say what a real woman, because I don't know what a woman goes through on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
But I know what the fuck a man goes through. Right. I know that I have to deal with other men and their alpha male mentality and what they want to do and being the dominant in the room. You know, so you can't tell me what that is.
So the second question is, how can a man honor the Most High in his home and bless it according to the Bible? I think you kind of answered it by living it out. And that's how you bless the home. Because let me tell you something. If you're a peaceful man, if you're living by God's commandments, okay, you have God's peace. You have God's peace in you.
Right.
Where you go, believe it or not, your job can be blessed because of you.
Right.
Your home could be blessed because of you.
Right.
And your friends will see you as a blessing to be able to call you, this guy's my friend.
Right.
Because you are a blessing.
Right.
Now, if you're not receiving blessings from your friends, then maybe you ought to reevaluate your friends. So that was a freebie. Okay, let's go to another one. Okay, I don't know why you got... See, I like covering these questions, but is this a Bible study? These are the questions in the community. Okay. Okay. What events of the Bible would you like to have witnessed? A few of mine would be the devil tempting Jesus, Moses parting the Red Sea, and the devil falling to the earth. Those are good ones.
Yeah, they are.
Those are good ones. What event would you have liked to have seen?
Um,
I have one, and I think it's amazing. But I'm
yeah.
going to encourage all of you guys, when I share it, please look it up and do your own research. I have to say that first because I don't want people to say, oh, Tony, you're off your fucking rocker. So, I don't know. You want to go first? Or
I think the parting of the Red Sea and when the Most High gave the Israelites manna.
Manna, okay. Manna. Now, I'm going to throw this out there. When manna fell from heaven, do you know that it actually describes what it looked like?
Oh, really?
What manna looked like.
Okay.
And you know what it looked like? I'm going to give you guys something to Google. It said that it looked like coriander seed. Coriander seed. What do we call that? Cilantro. That's what we call it in Spanish. Look at a coriander seed. They said that's what it looked like. So there was little tiny like rocks that fell from heaven. And all they did was grind it up, made it into a powder. And that was like harina or like flour for them to make bread.
You know the Red Sea, bro?
The Red Sea.
Yeah. You know where that is at? Where it's located?
Yeah, what is out of Egypt.
Okay. It's actually the real Red Sea is right the little boot of Mexico, Mexico.
Okay.
It's right in between Mexico and Mexico. Like, you know, that little
Oh,
sliver?
so, okay.
That's the Red Sea, the real one.
All right. Not going to argue with that one. But now, I'm going to give you guys mine.
Okay, go ahead.
Moses goes up to Mount Sinai. Okay. Which most archaeologists will say it's in Saudi Arabia. Okay. That's where the mountains were.
Okay.
So they say, okay.
Okay.
He goes up there and he talks to God. And he tells Moses, stand on that rock. Okay. And then it says that God placed his hand over Moses' eyes. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you guys a word and I want you guys to look it up. It's called anthropomorphic expressions. Okay. And here's what that word means, that God gave the writer of that book, God allowed him to give him human attributes because God is spirit. He doesn't have a hand because he's spirit, but he allowed the writer to use that anthropomorphic expression. So go ahead and write that I have a hand and I put it over your eyes. So the writer says, God put his hand over my eyes. He says, and God showed him his back. So for years, that bothered me. Like, so here's what I'm thinking. God did this, and then God turned around and walked to the side and showed him his back. I mean, God didn't show him his shoulder blades, okay? After looking up that word in Hebrew, doing a word study, this is the part that I'm challenging people to look it up for yourself. God showed him all the way back. Now, this is the part that I want to see. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. 2, and the earth was without form and void. And I would want to see that. Now, if Moses saw that, because Moses is the writer to Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How could you write in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth if you weren't there, my friend?
Also, another one, my bad, bro. But in the book of Enoch, where Uriel took Enoch and showed him everything, that would be like, wow.
That was, yeah.
You know?
Exactly. So, yeah, there's a lot of things. Okay. Favorite boxer currently and all time. I would have to say my two favorite boxers. I've been just going to say Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez. Today, I don't have any.
Okay. I mean, I've always liked Chavez because my grandfather.
Yeah.
I like De La Hoya when he was real in the Olympics. Not all the money and dressing, wearing women chonies afterwards. I don't respect that, and all the bullshit that he's doing now. Don't respect it. Tyson, a huge amount of respect for him.
Yeah.
Until this fight right here.
Oh yeah.
Until this, and I mean not even a fight. Until this show that they're putting on. That's bullshit. It's a disrespect to boxing. It's a disrespect to all the men that really believe in the sport.
Yeah.
It's sad, homie.
Yeah.
It's sad. Everything is flipped upside down. Everything, homie. We don't got nothing left that's real.
No, nothing left. Let me just mention some other great boxers too. Obviously, Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler,
Right?
Thomas Hearns, and I'm also going to say Sugar Ray Leonard, even though towards the end of his career,
Foreman.
yeah, George Foreman. There's another couple of Mexican boxers, Marco Antonio Barrera. I was a huge fan of him. I still am. Eric Morales. Another guy, Finito Lopez. I think he retired 45-0, but because I think he was like 105 or 110, nobody talks about him.
What's his name? I always forget his name. Homie, the vato that had his little ponytail thing. He had him and his son are fighters. He was really like out there. Like
Hector Macho Camacho.
there you go, him.
You know he was murdered.
Okay.
Yeah, rest in peace for that guy. He was murdered. I'll tell you another guy, bro, that I thought was great, and I thought if he just had a little bit of power, he would beat Pernell Whitaker. I mean, he would beat, what's his name? The guy I'm talking about is Pernell Whitaker. He would have beat Floyd Mayweather. Okay. They're both the same style of fighters, but Pernell Whitaker just didn't really have power. But he was a technician. You know, he was one of those guys that would go 12 rounds with you, bro, but he'll beat you convincingly. I thought he would have beat Floyd Mayweather. So
you know what? I heard Mike Tyson a long time ago. He did an interview in the 90s, I believe. And they asked him about his strategy in the ring and shit. And he said that when he gets in the ring with an opponent and he's right there and he's standing with them, you know, you're eye to eye and you got your hands up, right?
Right.
He said that if he's eye to eye with a dude or whatever, he goes lower. He'll go lower. You know, and he has the ability, if you watch him, his movement to move to the side, you know, so he'll catch him to the side and boom.
Yeah.
You know, get him, and that's dope, you know.
See, that's how Pernell Whitaker was.
Yeah.
He used to dodge punches. He used to crouch all the way down. His butt was almost that's how he was, bro. So, okay, I know Marvelous knows a little bit about a lot of things. So can you ask him?
That's a good one, homie. That's a good one. I like it.
I like that one too. Okay, let's go. If there was sides, like who keeps it? I don't get this question. If there was sides, like who keeps it 100, and it just says Rodian Radio. So I'm not sure what that is. I don't get it. My apologies. Okay, y'all think about the eclipse that is going to happen on April 8th. They say that is the last total solar eclipse that will be visible in the U.S. until 2044. Shout out from Kansas City. I don't know. I didn't hear about no eclipse.
Yeah, I know about the eclipse, but I don't know about the last or whatever.
Yeah, I haven't heard that part. Go ahead.
It's been a couple of times they've said that it's going to be the last eclipse in a long time. And the next thing you know, like the blood moon.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it happened already like twice, and they say it was a once in a 50 year kind of thing.
You know? I don't know, bro.
Okay. Question both of you. If one of your sons started saying the N-word, what would be your response? Would you care? I do care.
I care.
So, yeah, and they wouldn't be using it in my home. So, and hopefully they wouldn't be using it in the streets. Question for both of you, vatos. Y'all ever have to rumble it with any of the greaser crews back in the 90s? Well, look, there's always been greaser crews. I went to school in the 80s, and there was greasers back then. You know, dudes are just like the 50s or whatnot. No, I never had to box them because all those guys were my friends. But they weren't guys that were rumble. They were just guys that loved to party. So what about you?
Yeah, I don't know about greaser dudes, but I've gone down with rebels back in the day, with rockers back in the day, and you can't take credit away from nobody. You know, people that, or even people that are rockers or nerds or whatever, and you know they look at dudes that are all tatted down. That don't mean shit. It don't mean nothing. None of my tattoos don't make me downer than anybody else. You know, put it like that, because I've gone down with dudes and I give them the fucking huge amount of respect for holding their own. They were rockers, casual fools. You know, just as long as you're a man and you don't turn it down. You know, a lot of dudes they don't want to get, you know, hit, or they're afraid to get hit. Like, fuck, that's all. You know, that's where I'm gonna give you the respect for you standing up. You know, for yourself. You know, I would never want my son to run from shit. You know, if you get beat up, hey, get back up, homie. You know, like, but it's sad, man. Ain't nobody. You know, not that they should be getting down, but fuck, you're a man.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Okay. How did you guys first link up? Shout out from San Francisco. I called up a guy that I knew him, and I just said, "Can you ask him if I can get his number?" And he said, "Yeah." So then I called him and we talked.
Yeah, man.
And that's pretty much how it did. Do you remember when we first started talking? You first started coming on here. Everybody predicted that this was gonna end really bad.
Really?
Everybody was saying that. I think I had a feeling that this relationship was gonna end really bad. And I was like, why do we think that? What kind of person thinks that?
I don't know.
Like, instead of enjoying the moment, enjoying the show, fool, I think these motherfuckers are gonna get into it eventually.
I think because two big platforms that I was on, we had a falling out, and it's sad that happened or whatever. I didn't mean for it to happen, but I live by my character. You know what I mean? In my neighborhood, I never had a bad character or shit like that, or people speak down on me in any fucking way. And I conduct myself a certain way. Not to say I'm the fucking hardest person or the man with the most fucking respect, but damn, you know, my grandpa raised me a certain way to hold my own and fucking be respectful.
Yeah.
And, you know, have dignity and self-respect and morals and shit. And when another person it claims to be something and they show me that they're not, and my name is included with their platform, it's kind of fucked up. It's going to speak on me.
Yeah.
So I when I separate myself and they want to badmouth and talk shit, hey, let's throw it all out there then, homie. Let's let the audience decide who is really in the wrong here.
Right.
You know, so it's sad. You know what I mean?
You know, it's really sad when I've had guys that have sat across from me. Guys that I've had across from me, bro. We've drank beers, we took shots. They go home. I don't ever hear from them. And then they appear on another podcast.
Talking shit.
I don't understand that, bro.
No, you know what sucks? Is that before you meet somebody, somebody's already bad mouthing that person. So you go in with the intentions that, damn, this was I don't want to have nothing to do with this fool, or you're already expecting something bad, but then you find out like, damn, when somebody talks about somebody else, you're only getting 5% of who that person really is. So get to know them yourself. You know what I mean? I've had person send me apologies, you know, saying, hey, man, I used to think of you like this, or this person was bad mouthing you, but, you know, when I met you in person, you were the opposite, and I found out that person was a liar, and that's sad, you know? Like, damn, homie, like.
I want to encourage you guys, whenever somebody drops something in your ear about someone, do your own research before you start thinking of that person differently. I'll give you an example. I had a caller one time that called in. Yeah, Tony, I heard this about you. Oh, yeah, who told you? Oh, that's just what I heard. Did you ever do your research? Do you know if it's true? Well, I'm just telling you what I heard. Have me and you ever spoke or met before? No. But you already have your mind made up about me because this person told you this about me, right?
Right.
Well, it's just all over YouTube. But have you ever spoken to me? Well, no. So what you're saying is that you called, and in your mind, I'm already guilty of this. So now you just called just to talk shit then.
And you got to give them the same thing. Okay, well, what if somebody says something about you and I said, oh, you know, this happened or this happened. Is it true? Well, no. Okay, well, that's the circumstances right there.
Right. And here's the trap that a lot of people, when they interview people, what they say. For an example, Marvelous. Say you called in to my platform and you're not ready for this. And I set you up with this. Hey, Marvelous, yeah, man. You know what? There's a guy, his name's Ralph. And let's just say Ralph is your good friend. He's the one that's saying that he was the one putting all the work in your hood. It wasn't you. He's the one that's saying he was the metal. He's the one saying that he jumped you in, bro. Like, he's the one saying he was the money man. He was the one getting bitches, not you. Now, you could answer that wisely, or you could answer like a fucking idiot. You can answer like a fucking idiot and say, well, I know fucking Ralph. Fuck that dude. Fuck that dude. Hey, Ralph, if you're watching, what's up, homie? You ain't that guy. Or you can say, I never heard Ralph say that, so I can't answer that. I can't give my opinion.
Right.
If I heard him say that, then maybe I can, you know, but that's not something I think he would say. Don't get tricked into saying some shit that you guys don't mean.
Or don't inherit another man's beef.
There you go. Okay. Let me see. Okay. For Tony and Marvelous, what was your reaction when you both found out you were going to be fathers for the first time?
What's the feeling?
Yeah. What was your reaction? Like, let's just say when the girl tells you, "I'm pregnant."
Man, I can't even explain that feeling. But it's one of the best feelings in your life.
Yeah.
For me, it was a feeling of shock because I'm like, dang, I can make a kid. I can make a child. Like, wow. And then you know, I'm not gonna lie, stress sets in when you're younger. How am I gonna provide? What do I do? Like, everything. You know, for me, an example is I lived with my grandparents at the time. You know, when I had my first son, and it was stressful because my grandparents see me as their little mijo still, and everything I was doing was wrong. You know, you're supposed to hold the baby like this. Did the baby eat yet? Why is the baby crying? Is it the baby, right? Make sure you wrap the baby up quick. Oh, okay. To warm the milk, don't use a microwave. You know, everything was like, dang, telling me what to do. And then not only that is that, you know, sometimes I didn't have a car. You know, I had to take the bus. So I'm on the bus and I got senoras telling me, ay, mijo, you know, what I got to do. And I'm like, dang, I'm trying not to be disrespectful. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, chill.
Yeah, no. For me, it was the opposite of your emotions. Like, reality set in.
Yeah.
And I started to stress.
Uh-huh.
Then the happiness kicked in, I guess, when I saw her belly taking off.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, wow, that's me, you know. But at first, it's always like, okay, what do I got to do to support it? What do I got to do to keep her happy? What do I, you know, just so much, because you got to grow up, bro.
Yeah.
You have to grow up. So
I remember my first son, bro. My bad. Me and my baby's mom were asleep, bro, and I woke up and I was all wet, and I'm like, damn, what the hell? Did I pee on myself or what? I'm like, damn, she peed, and then I woke up. I'm like, hey, you know, like, you're all wet, like, and she goes, my water broke, and I'm like, damn, and I'm ready to, bro. I was running from room to room. I didn't know where to grab the bag, grab clothes, call the paramedic. Like, what do I do? What do I do? And luckily, the hospital was right down the street, so you know, I got everything together. But it's kind of like, you know, you're young, homie.
yeah,
Like,
you're young.
you're excited.
Okay, let me see. Okay, here we goes right here. Question for both of you. Would the 20-year-old Tony and the 20-year-old Marvelous get along back then? Probably not. And let me tell you why.
I was gonna say, go ahead, bro.
Probably not. And let me tell you why. Let's just say, Marvelous, that we both grew up in the 80s. Okay. MC Pancho sat right there across from me twice. And I was thankful that we're in the 2000s because I told him this. In the 80s, we would not have been able to sit right here across from each other. And he said, I agree. It was just a different time for me.
Right.
And, I mean, even though this is all the harbor area, whether it's Long Beach, whether it's San Pedro, whether it's Harbor City, whether it's Wilmington, whether it's Carson, Gardena, we just didn't sit down with each other. So I think that would be the reason why.
Oh, okay. Me, definitely not. No disrespect, Tony.
Of course.
But I was robbing everybody, bro.
Hey, that's what you did.
That's what I did, man. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
Everything was a come up.
Okay. This I don't give away. I really don't. But for both, what kind of cologne do you guys use?
Oh, shit.
I got to compliment my cologne today.
Wait, what is that?
I'm not going to, I'll tell you after.
I'm going to get it. I'm going to find out.
But I'm going to show you afterwards.
That's a bomb ass cologne.
Okay. I have two bomb colognes. Like bomb. Okay. But one I will tell you is kind of old now, but it's called Blue, BLEU by Chanel.
Okay.
That's a really, really good one. That's the only one I'll give you because I got about 30 cologne bottles in there.
Oh. But
I have 3 that are my favorites that I never give away. And I'll show you afterwards. So
Okay.
I'm a cologne guy. Okay.
That's dope. I like Boss, the gold bottle.
Okay.
The one it has Boss.
Isn't it like called a million or
It's just Boss, bro. Or you know what? I don't even know.
yeah, it goes up like this.
No, it's actually a smaller bottle than that, bro.
Okay.
So I'll show it to you. Hugo Boss is bomb. Chrome, of course. Remember Fahrenheit?
Yeah.
I think we all started off with Cool Water.
Cool water, yeah.
That was dope. Escape, you can never go wrong with Eternity.
Eternity is actually, a lot of colognes bid Eternity because that was very, very popular, especially in the 90s. But Blue's the only one I'll give you guys. The other ones I won't because I don't like motherfuckers smelling like me. Okay.
Paris Hilton for men's bomb.
Okay.
Very sexy for men.
Very sexy. Yeah, that one is very seductive.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. You guys speak presidents. Okay, DC a couple. Okay. No. What does? I'm not even going to read it. I'll read it, but I'll skip it because I don't want to make a big deal. And this is a question here. Okay. Other people would read this to try to make a big deal.
I want to make a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
What does Marvelous think of Kid Frost calling in on Last News with Norbies? But you answer that, so let's lead them to your page.
Okay, yeah, go check out my page on News with Norbies.
News with Norbies.
I mean, no, on
Marvelous Minds.
Marvelous Mind. What am
Marvelous
I saying?
Norbies.
Yeah.
Okay. Marvelous Minds dropped like a 1 hour.
Yeah.
He answered calls, and at the very end, somebody asked that question, and he answered it. So go to Marvelous Minds, Minds with a Z at the end, not a S. Okay.
Hey, and just to make things clear and shit. Hey, no disrespect. Like when I say shit, it ain't about no beef or none of that shit. And no, I'm not trying to put nobody down and shit. I just think when you get a certain age and you get on that certain level that you should be at that age, you should be conducting yourself a little bit more proper. You know what I mean? I don't come in here and saying that I fucking know everything. I say, you know what? Here, take a look at this. Is what I learned in my life. Bam, I can show you the facts on things. I'm not saying I know everything. I'm not saying I'm the baddest person just because I used to fucking fight and was sponsored and shit like that. I don't say none of that shit. You know, because I'm pretty sure there's fucking a couple of dudes that could beat me up or whatever. I don't say none of that shit. I was the biggest gang member or whatever the fuck. You know, I'm just saying that when you get to a certain level in your life, you should be acting as such. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
it.
Okay. Question for both of you. Both. What's your guys' opinion trying to get rid of toxic family out of your life? I'll be honest with you, and I've been accused of having a cold heart because there are family members that I have cut out.
Mm-hmm.
I cut them out for my peace, and I don't feel guilty about it.
Right.
Now, I do want to say this. This is after several talks, after several times we had a discussion, and this person continues. I'm not going to allow them back into my life to continue to hurt me.
Right.
Now, my sisters would always say, forgive him. You already know the way he is. But their interpretation of forgive doesn't mean, it doesn't, for them it's forgive them, but accept them back in. That's not my interpretation. That's not a biblical interpretation. I can forgive him and just wave at him by, you know, and kind of like, oh, when I see you, okay, cool. But now I'll allow him back into my life. Why am I going to allow this toxic person to continuously come into my life and continue to hurt me? I'm allowing it. What you allow is what will continue. Mm. And to me, I just cut them off. Doesn't mean I hate them. Doesn't mean I don't pray for them.
Right.
But I just can't have you back into my life, bro.
Right. That's true. Yeah, I agree. I hate when people say, oh, you know, blood's thicker than water. Well, okay, oil's thicker than blood. Like, we could sit here and talk about the scientific values of fucking liquids all day.
Yeah.
But family, my grandfather's told me, is a person that calls you and is worried about you, with your well-being, your health. Do you need anything? That's familia.
Right. Okay, question for both Tony and Marvelous. Who will you be voting for in 2024 presidential election and why? I'm going to vote. I'm going to be honest with you. And if it's between Michael Obama and Biden, Michael Myers here, and Trump, if those are our only three, I'm going to be honest, I'm voting for Trump. Okay. I said it here first.
All right. Cool.
Now, your question is, would you be voting?
I don't vote for none of those gay people.
Okay, there you go. Okay, question for Marvelous. Marvelous, you speak on Mexica culture and have adopted it. Yeah. Have you been to Mexico City? You should ask the people that live there what their culture is like.
I talk to people that live there almost every single day. Yeah. I don't know what that statement means, or he was just being cool, but appreciate it.
Okay, let me see. Marvelous, I want to get a brown pride tattoo. Marvelous, I want to get a brown pride tattoo on my back. What are some of the things I or anyone else should be aware of, safety-wise, having such a tattoo? By safety, I mean running into a gang member in the streets. So he wants to get a brown pride tattoo on my back, on his back. What are some of the things, or I should be aware of or safety? Like, could him taking off a shirt and saying brown pride, can that set it?
Not at all.
Okay.
I mean, fuck, how do I talk about this shit? Just be careful for symbolism. As somebody who knows, about certain things, there's a lot of hidden symbolism in some of the drawings that are out here. I've seen a lot of people get drawings that are from homies in the pen, and they have like their barrio in there, or they'll have symbolism that you should not have. Another thing, I mean, that's about it when it comes to that. I thought he was talking more about the sterilization of things. A big thing that I would tell people though, if you're gonna get tatted by somebody or an artist, ask to see pictures of the healed work, the work that has already been healed. They have pictures of it, because then you can see how your tattoo is gonna heal. If you do take care of it properly. But other than that, people see an artist and they're like, "Oh man, that looks badass," because it's all fresh and shit. But the way it heals is like, damn, that shit didn't even stay on you, or it's scarred, or that person. It's called hamburgerizing the skin. Wow. When they keep turning the pore and shit, they're literally turning the pores, bro, like hamburger meat. So if you overwork an area, heck yeah, you're gonna mess them up. Another thing is with cover-ups. This is a big thing. A lot of people come and say, for instance, you have a name somewhere, right? And a lot of people think that a cover-up consists of throwing that pattern right over that name. No, it doesn't. All you're doing is trying to distract that name from being there. So I would offset that rose to the side and cover it with maybe the 3D shading that I'm gonna do. Right. But remember, when you're putting more ink, it's like say your skin. It's exactly, if you zoom into your skin, it looks like the bubble wrap, the ones that you pop. Wow. So every little pore, if that pore is already filled up with ink, such as a name being there, and you throw a cover up on top of that, you're gonna throw more ink into that pore, and that name is just gonna rise through that cover up. So that's not the best idea. People got to think about all that shit. Wow. Okay. Anything you want to add to that, Alex?
You know what? Honestly, tattoos are cool and everything. But I got some tattoos, but if I could go back, I wouldn't get any, actually.
Yeah. I want to take all this shit off my neck and head, and I don't want no more. And even some of my other tattoos, bro, I don't like. They became a trend already, man, and that's not even what the fuck it's about.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of people got it to look different, and now everyone's looking the same. So
it was rare back in the day to see a hyena with a sleeve or something. Now everybody got it. Everybody has it. Like, damn, like, man, you got nerds wearing tattoos. Like, I don't know, man. This is
right. Okay, Alex, let's go ahead and connect to let's take a couple of phone calls. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let me see. Roadcaster.
Only the left side on.
Okay, let me fix this.
Nada.
Anything? Better?
Just the left side. Okay, now the right side. There you go. Yeah.
All right, cool. Connected. Okay, everybody, the phone number's up, Alex? Okay, let's take some phone calls. Let's see. Who's gonna call in? Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's go. Let's see. Okay, caller, call back. Okay. Here we go. Caller, your name and where are you calling from? Hello, caller. Okay. Caller, your name and... Hello? I'm not hearing anything, bro. Okay, here we go again. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes. They just keep hanging up, bro. Caller, your name or where are you calling from? Oh, you know what? Alex is doing the same thing it did the other day at Freaky Tales. Yeah.
Upload it or what?
Oh man. Let me have to. I'm gonna have to log out, bro. Let me log out and then log back in. My apologies, guys.
While you're doing that, we have a few live chats.
Okay, go for it. Do that.
Okay, there's a guy, El Chorizo Masaroso, dropped $9.99. They said, when is Drinking with the Wizard coming back? Much love, Rhodium team.
Hopefully soon, man. I just got a lot of things on my plate right now that I'm trying to. I'm trying to fix this, bro. So, but I'll bring it back soon, bro. My apologies. I'm just trying to fix this thing right here. Let me see. Clear. Let me take this off real fast. Go ahead, bro.
Enrique Ledesma, he's been a member for 8 months. It says, love the platform. Keep on shining. Cubo Marvelous and the team. Any word on Nino Brown, Murray Brumfield, Part 2, Ant Banks? How about anyone from Triple X Records or Red Vinyl Camp? Lightfoot, he said.
I appreciate you, homie. Send my respects too.
So yeah, if we're ever gonna get a Nino Brown interview or a Murray Brumfield.
I talked to Nino Brown. Well, not me. A mutual friend talked to him, and he just said, "I'm sorry, bro. I'm having technical difficulties. Look at
Go
Marcus.
to another one, homie.
Yeah,
That's all right. Go to.
and Murray Brumfield. I can get him. Okay,
They want a Part 2.
okay. My apologies, guys. I'm just trying to fix it because I'm trying to get your guys' calls.
P Dog dropped. He's been a member for 8 months.
P Dog. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
He said, "Yo, Tony, you have a favorite boxing analysis channel or commentator? I really like Lee Wiley, but he stopped his channel."
No, I don't, bro. You know what? Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barreda sometimes do have a podcast, but it's all in Spanish. And let me see. It's all in Spanish. My favorite commentators were mostly from the late 80s and early 90s. It was Bobby Chez and Freddie Pacheco. So if you guys ever get a chance to look them up, I don't know if they have anything on social media or on YouTube, but that's pretty much who I will listen to. Sorry, you guys. I'm just trying to get this thing started again.
Okay, Jaime, he dropped $10.
Okay.
He's still mad because he said that I butchered his name. So he said that I'm down to box Alex for butchering my name every time I donate in the show. I've been a follower since 2019. When one of my homies...
Okay, here we go, Alex. Hold on. Okay. Give me a second. Caller, your name. Where are you calling from? Hello? Caller.
I hear something.
Yeah, I hear something. Hold on, I just hung up, bro. Okay, here we go again. Caller, your name and where are you calling from? Hello? I don't know what.
Hello.
Yes. Can you hear me? Yo. They hung up again, Alex. So I think it's this app, bro.
Gotta get into the app.
Yeah, because it froze. Let me see. What did we do last time, bro? Did you work? Or it wasn't you, huh? Oh, you know what? We had to restart that, bro. The Roadcaster. We had to restart it. Give me 1 second. Let me try again. Caller, your name or where are you calling from? Nope.
You have to restart it, bro.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay. Yeah, can you hear us? No, you know what? Can you restart it really fast? If not, bro, we'll just end it right there, bro. I can't. Okay, go for it. Just try it. Okay. What's that?
Oh, there it goes.
Okay, I already turned this off, so all good. What have froze, bro? When, no, what are you doing? I'm trying to. Okay. Anyways, all right, you guys. Sorry about that. My apologies. I don't know what happened, but obviously the lines ain't working, so my bad. Marvelous, anything you want to say? Anything we didn't touch on? Anything?
Not really. Is it that you're ending it?
What's that?
Were you ending it already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, nah. Thank you for having me again, Tony. Appreciate it. Appreciate
good,
you, Alex. Everybody that tuned in. Yeah. Just thank you for your love and support, man. Very appreciate you guys for real.
We still have a few more live chats.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. To finish up, Jaime's. It says, I've been a follower since 2019. When one of my homies from Biggs Gridley, Sureños in the 530 upstate, showed me your show, Tony A. I don't know what that means. I've been a follower since 2019. I think he needs to put commas or something.
He just said his homie showed him the show.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Michael Rosas dropped $2. He said $2 to buy Blue Rata some tampons. 90s Limit 1 dropped $2. He said hit the like. Isaiah Chavez dropped $2. He said, Tony, did you see the Joe Rogan and Cat Williams interview yet?
I watched a part of it, bro. Yes, I watched a part of it. I haven't gotten to the part where you said, but I'll watch it. So thank you.
Okay. Carlos Cruz dropped $4.99. He said, Marv, my wife's getting our daughter's name tattooed tomorrow. What's a good font you recommend?
I mean, if it's your daughter's name, a girl's name, you can never go wrong with script, bro. There's different variations of script that you can do. But yeah, not only English. That's too gangster to get that shit done. Also, the spot is real crucial to where she's gonna get it at, you know. So, yeah, that's all I'll say.
Okay. Westminster OC dropped $10. He said, would love to see Conejo on the Rhodium Radio.
Yeah, that's already been covered, bro. Most likely he probably won't, but we have talked in the past, and it never happened, bro. So
okay, and that's it, Tony.
Okay, other than that, Marvelous, once again, thank you. I want to thank everybody on the live chat. Once again, I just want to apologize to everybody that wasn't able to call in. You did try to call in, so I appreciate that. When you're having technical difficulty like this, it just sucks. So my apologies. That's my bad. I'll take the blame for that. It has nothing to do with my team. It's just that sometimes it's hard to get a test run on calls. So maybe I just need to change the app or whatever the case may be. So anyways, other than that, Marvelous, thank you. Thank everybody for super chat. Thank all the members. Thank everybody who liked, comment, subscribed. Let me thank my team. Once again, Alex Cervantes, the Hip Hop Jedi, News of Norbies, my son B. Scanless, and Magic Raw Moderator. So much love and respect to all you guys until Wednesday. We'll see you guys back. brother,